Beneath every electric car, every phone, every home battery on Earth, a hidden war is being fought, not with weapons but with raw chemistry. By 2035, this invisible industry will be worth $257 billion, a market bigger than most nations' economies combined. This is the story of lithium, nickel, and cobalt, the elements quietly deciding who wins the clean energy century. In 2025 alone, the battery chemicals market hit $82.75 billion and is only accelerating from here. Global battery cell manufacturing has now surpassed 4 terawatt-hours of capacity, enough to power entire nations, built in under a decade. But this industry is splitting in two, a battle between cheap safety and premium performance, fought cell by cell. Lithium iron phosphate, or LFP, now powers 55% of the world's battery cells, cheap, stable, and nearly indestructible. But for long-range luxury EVs, high-nickel NMC chemistry still reigns, squeezing more energy into every gram of material. A quieter challenger is rising too, sodium-ion batteries, built from one of the most abundant elements on Earth. And in secret labs, engineers chase the holy grail, solid-state batteries promising double the range, without the fire risk. 61% of this entire industry runs through Asia-Pacific, a supply chain empire built over 30 years. America answers with the Inflation Reduction Act, pouring billions into Nevada, Tennessee, and Michigan to build its own supply chain. Europe answers with its Critical Raw Materials Act, racing to refine its own lithium before it's too late. And in Chile's Atacama Desert, vast turquoise brine pools evaporate under the sun, quietly yielding the lithium the world craves. Extracting this lithium once took 18 months. New direct extraction technology now does it in a matter of hours. Nickel tells a different story, dug from Indonesian laterite or, then, cooked under intense heat and pressure into battery-grade sulfate. Cobalt comes largely from the Democratic Republic of Congo, a mineral of immense value and immense human cost. These raw elements travel thousands of miles to become precursor powders, the invisible building blocks of every battery cathode. At 900 degrees Celsius, this powder is fused with lithium into cathode material, the heart of every battery cell. Meanwhile, graphite anodes are forged at 3,000 degrees, hotter than the surface of Venus, just to store an electron. It all converges at the Gigafactory, where CATL, BYD, LG, Samsung, and Panasonic assemble the cells that power the planet. Behind the scenes, automakers and cell giants are racing to control every link, from the mine to the finished car. Automakers now sign decade-long contracts directly with mines, betting billions that owning the rock secures the future. Battery makers are climbing the ladder too, building their own recycling arms to reclaim metal from yesterday's dead batteries. Scientists are now lacing graphite with silicon, boosting battery capacity by up to 4 times over pure carbon alone. Others chase solid-state batteries, replacing flammable liquid electrolyte with a solid ceramic core that could end battery fires forever. Sodium-ion batteries, meanwhile, promise something rarer in this industry: abundance, low cost, and complete independence from lithium. And when batteries finally die, hydrometallurgical recycling dissolves them in acid, recovering over 95% of their critical metals. China refines nearly 70% of the world's lithium, cobalt, and cathode material, a chokehold decades in the making. In 2023, China restricted graphite exports overnight, sending Western manufacturers scrambling for anode material almost anywhere else. In response, Washington built foreign entity of concern rules, cutting off tax credits for anything tied to Chinese-owned supply chains. Brussels answered with its own rulebook, demanding 40% of critical minerals be processed on European soil by 2030. India, too, is spending $21 billion to build its own battery ecosystem from the ground up. But behind the policy, human costs remain. Child labor risks still haunt artisanal cobalt mining in the Congo. In Chile's lithium triangle, brine extraction drains scarce desert groundwater, pushing the industry toward gentler, closed-loop methods. In late 2022, lithium prices exploded past $74,000 a ton, a gold rush that reshaped the entire industry. Then came the crash. Prices collapsed to just $10,000 a ton as new mines flooded the market. By early 2026, the market rebalanced, prices recovering to over $20,000 a ton as mines curtailed output. Inside every battery cell, cathode material alone eats up nearly half the total manufacturing cost, the single biggest expense. Electric vehicle sales are racing toward 35% of the global market by 2030, an unstoppable wave of demand. Grid-scale battery storage is growing even faster, from 63 gigawatt-hours today towards 750 by 2035. But the path from mine to factory is treacherous. A decade to open a mine, just 2 years to build a gigafactory. And a cheaper rival looms. Sodium-ion batteries could quietly steal market share from lithium before the decade ends. By 2028, the market stabilizes near marginal cost as new compliance deadlines reshape who gets to build what and where. By the early 2030s, direct lithium extraction scales globally, and closed-loop recycling starts feeding factories with reclaimed metal. By 2035, battery passports will trace every gram of cobalt, lithium, and nickel from the ground to your garage. This is not just an industry. It is the chemistry deciding who leads the clean energy century and who gets left behind. The next decade will be written in lithium and nickel. Follow this channel, because the world's next power struggle has already begun.